Okay, so the other bone is fibula. Now fibula is also a long bone and it has upper end, lower end, and this one is the shaft. Now the upper end is very expanded, and it is this more expanded part is also called as the styloid process. So this is the styloid process of this fibula bone. Then this one is the lower end. The lower end bears this prolongation, and this is called as lateral malleolus of fibula. So this one is the lateral malleolus of fibula, and then in between is the shaft. Now how do we determine the site determination? Always look for the expanded upper end. This part which is expanded, it should always be kept upwards, means not this way. So this is the wrong positioning. So upper end is always expanded, so we will always keep it upwards, whereas the lower end, this one, it bears a one triangular impression, and just posterior and inferior to it is a fossa. This fossa is also called as malleolar fossa. So this one is the fossa, malleolar fossa. It should always lie posteriorly and inferiorly, so always keep it this way. So this is how we hold the fibula in the anatomical position. So upper end, lower end, and in between is the shaft. Now how to determine the side of the fibula? See, look for this upper end. This one is the head or the styloid process. This should lie upwards. Then for the lower end, this triangular facet, it should always lie medially, and this malleolar fossa should lie posterior-inferiorly. This one is the malleolar fossa. It should lie posterior-inferiorly, so that this thumb can hold this in the form of pen, as if I am holding a pen. So my thumb should be placed on this malleolar fossa in this way. So this is how we hold it anatomically, and this is of left side. So this is fibula of left side. Just in case if I hold it on my right side, so this malleolar fossa is coming anteriorly, which represents that this is the wrong positioning and this is of wrong side. So always keep the malleolar fossa posterior inferiorly, which will determine the side of the fibula bone. So upper 1/4 will give origin to the soleus muscle, and the lower 3/4 will give origin to the flexor hallucis longus. So the posterior surface, which has been divided into by a medial crest, this one is the posterior surface divided by medial crest into medial area and lateral area. The lateral area will give origin to the tibialis posterior, and the medial area, this upper 1/4 will give origin to soleus, and lower 3/4 will give origin to the flexor hallucis longus muscle. So these are the muscular attachments on the shaft of fibula bone. We have all origins, only one insertion on the fibula bone, that is on its head, C-shaped insertion. On its head we have one C-shaped insertion of biceps femoris muscle. So we have biceps femoris muscle attached, inserted on its head in this way. So C-shaped insertion of biceps femoris, and it will also include the fibular collateral ligament. So fibular collateral ligament is also attached within this biceps femoris muscle, along with the biceps femoris attachment. So these are the attachments on the fibula. Coming to the lower end, since it will articulate with the talus bone to form ankle joint, so we have various talofibular ligaments which are attached to its lower end, and on this triangular facet, if you see, one important ligament is attached, which is, we call it as interosseous tibiofibular ligament. Why it is important? Because that ligament makes the inferior tibiofibular joint a syndesmosis type of joint. So on this triangular facet, we have the attachment of this interosseous tibiofibular ligament, and on the margins of this, the capsular ligament for the ankle joint is also attached. We have various other ligaments attached: anterior talofibular, posterior talofibular, then inferior tibiofibular ligaments are attached on the margins and on the aspects of this lower end of fibula. So this is all about the fibula bone. Okay, now let's see how we will determine the borders and surfaces of the fibula. So it is, I hope you can see this, but let us see first the anterior border. The anterior border, always look for the triangular aperture. This one, I will start from below and then go upwards. So I can see this triangular impression over here. So I will follow one line which will extend upwards going this way till the anterior border of the styloid process. So the border which I have drawn, it is representing the anterior border, and as we trace it downwards, it is diverging into this triangular impression in this way. So this first border which I have drawn is the anterior border. Now very near to it, as I moved more medially, I saw one more border which was very sharp, and this sharp border is called as interosseous border or the medial border. However, when I am tracing it upwards, I cannot appreciate it in its upper aspect. If I see it more clearly in its upper aspect, I cannot appreciate it. So this is very appreciable only at its this aspect. Only at its lower aspect we can appreciate the sharp medial border or the interosseous border. So this one is the interosseous or the medial border. This one is the anterior border. Anterior border की पहचान यही रखनी है कि whenever we trace it downwards, it bears this triangular area. This triangular area is beared by this anterior border in its lower aspect of fibula. So this one is the anterior, and as I moved medially, I saw medial or the interosseous border, which is appreciable only at its lower aspect. इतने aspect पे ही appreciate हो रहा है. So this is the medial border. See, this one is the styloid process above. From the posterior aspect of the styloid process, when I start descending downwards, this one is the posterior border of the fibula. So this one is the posterior border. Now this posterior border of the fibula has been divided. Okay. So this one is the posterior border which we trace downward from the posterior aspect of the styloid process till this lower end. So this is the posterior border. Now coming to the surfaces, it has this, our fibula has, this one is the anterior border and this one is the interosseous border. अब ये जो surface आ गया which is highly indistinguishable at its upper aspect, this surface is the medial surface. And I am discussing the attachments along with the surfaces as I am discussing. So this is the medial surface, and we divide the medial surface into upper 1/4, middle 2/4 and lower 1/4, and it will give origin to all the muscles of the extensor compartment of the leg. Muscles which are included in the extensor compartment of the leg. At present I am not discussing what are the names of the muscle. I hope you can study that from the book. But we will divide into upper 1/4, middle 2/4 and lower 1/4. Since this one was the medial surface. Now this one is the anterior border and this one we traced is the posterior border. So this one is the posterior border. अब ये जो surface रह गया ये बन गया हमारा lateral surface. So this one is the lateral surface, and as we know the lateral surface is related to peroneus longus and peroneus brevis muscle. So from the lateral surface are emerging the everters of the foot, which are peroneus longus and peroneus brevis. Now we are left with the last surface, which is our posterior surface. So this one was the posterior border. Over here ये posterior border था और ये था हमारा interosseous border. This one was the interosseous border. So posterior surface lies between the interosseous border and the posterior border. And again this posterior surface, if we see above, it is divided by a vertical ridge. So posterior surface in the fibula is also divided by a vertical ridge into the medial area. This one is the lateral area and this one is the medial area. So it is divided into medial and lateral area. Lateral area is more grooved and it will give origin to tibialis posterior muscle. So it is giving origin to the tibialis posterior muscle over here. Then we are left with this area, medial area. It will give origin to the soleus muscle on its upper 1/4